Alright, so hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Messiah Games on Cars. I know I've not been there for about 2 weeks or so. Got a lot of things going on in business and other things, but I'm back. I wanted to give you a 18-month update on my Land Cruiser Cygnus. I just got done cleaning it today. Took a bloody long time. I mean, 2 hours. I even got the back, the trunk. I sprayed all the upholstery, all the suede, all the plastics, vinyl, leather cleaner. Really went through it and took out a lot of dust, all the little details, and it feels really nice again. And I wanted to give you an update since our last 1 year ownership update. And the 6 months after that have been pretty trouble free. I mean, there's not much to report in this vehicle. I mean, just these last 2 weeks I've been driving my Mercedes, so the Cygnus has just been chilling. But as soon as I came to the Cygnus today and flicked that key, it just started up, just like absolutely amazing. So this car always impresses me, and it's so good to be back in this one. When I have a lot of work around Nairobi City and I need to go places quickly and windy roads, a lot of stop and go traffic, I'd rather not bother the big V8. I just take the Mercedes. It's a manual, and I'm very comfortable driving a manual in traffic and those kind of scenarios, so it just works better. And I will give you a garage update so I can explain why these two cars in my garage. So 18 months later, there's not too much to report on. A few little things that I did get done. Now, the major aspect was my front shocks. Front shocks, I noticed after I went to the Nairobi National Park. We went on some rugged terrain. I had the car in high mode, and we were navigating those ruts. I didn't put it into low range. I didn't lock the center diff, and it managed just fine. But some of those ruts, because you got to slam on the brakes, and there's a lot of flex in the wheels, I believe it caused my shocks to leak very slightly. And so I noticed a very slight moisture at the middle of the shock. And because the vehicle is 12 years old, I know these are not standard shocks. These are hydraulic rams, because in this car we've got the AHC system, which is a really reliable system. And if it goes wrong, there are ways to troubleshoot it, for which I've read up on. I've read up on quite a lot. But I did notice that slight moisture, and with my independent mechanic, we decided not a bad idea at this point to just get both the front shocks replaced, so we're a bit trouble free for the kilometers ahead. And especially because I was going on a big trip in the next few weeks. I'll be going to the coast. I'll be driving with a Land Cruiser 200. I'll be driving this car obviously, and I'll be driving with my brother, who is in a Land Cruiser 200 series. So I just wanted everything spick and span and good. So we decided to go ahead with that. And when you take out the hydraulic rams in the front, you have to top up a bit of AHC fluid, because the fluid that is held in the shock is what's going to come out. So I did need to top up. I'm not sure how much it is, maybe 2 liters. But I got genuine Toyota AHC fluid, and from the front reservoir you can top that up. So I'll try and show you images of and videos right now of what we went through and that process. And that process basically started with pulling the shocks out, getting those top bolts and those bottom bolts out, and then slowly letting the fluid seep out, because it's a pressurized system, so very high pressure fluid flies right out. You got to make sure you've got the car in the air. The car should not be sitting on anything. Make sure the whole car is absolutely in the air, and with that, let that fluid come out from the left hand side, and then you can go ahead and take out the shock. Do the same for the right hand side. Go ahead, take out the shock, and then you can install the new shock, which is pretty straightforward. And what you do is then top up the AHC reservoir. And once you've done this, the car might sit totally in the low mode, which it did, and I saw that. And so what you have to do is let the engine run, maybe rev it up a bit so that all the systems start functioning, and the car will then divert that extra fluid that you've poured into the reservoir into the new shocks, and the car should start to level itself and it will go back into the neutral mode. So that was one of the big expenditures that we did. These are not your standard shocks. These hydraulic rams are damn expensive, according to me. And so we spent about probably, I think they're $200 per hydraulic ram, so about $400 for that, and then labor on top to install, and also the AHC fluid. So 18-month update. I've got two new front brand new shocks. The rears seem alright for now. I've not cranked the torsion bars or anything like that. I know some people say as the vehicle ages or as you do more miles, you can just go ahead and crank the torsion bar either up or down to reduce or increase the pressure in the front. But I'm not delved into that kind of stuff right now. The system is okay and I'm gonna leave it. If it's okay, let it be okay, right? So 18 months later, that's really the only update I have for you, is doing that bit of work. Apart from that, we've got brand new wipers as well on the car, which is a small thing, and simply because I'm going on that trip. And you know, we're ready for 1,000 or 1,500 kilometers, which is not much at all. But you know, this is Nairobi, this is Kenya, so there will be some terrain that will probably be challenging, will probably have corrugations, will probably have ruts or whatever. So we just want to be ready for that. And I very much believe in Cygnus. I've now had the vehicle for 18 months. I've taken it off-road, I've taken it in mud. I am quite comfortable with the edges that I can take this vehicle to, and I'm quite comfortable in controlling the vehicle and knowing what it's capable of. Which is an important thing. So what else do I have to report on? Today I just went through a full cleaning, and right now I'll show you some shots of that and what we achieved. I like to WD-40 everything as well. You know, all the windows, if you just take them up and down, WD-40 all the seals, and then just let the window go up and down, and you'll notice a difference of how smoothly the vehicle did I say mirrors? I mean the windows. You'll notice how smoothly the windows operate, and it's important, and I like to do that for all my vehicles. I did WD-40 all the latches and the windows, and I'll just show you the windows right now so you can see what I mean. Just see how smooth we have these windows functioning. So, you know, small things that you can do and just make sure your vehicle is performing well, because the number one problem is when dust and grime starts building in areas of your vehicle over time, and they're going to cause you problems you never thought they could cause you. So that's the update I have for you. 18 months. How am I finding the vehicle? I absolutely love it. I'll tell you one thing about owning a Land Cruiser. You know, it's just a different ball game. You know, I've been watching some of the TFL videos on YouTube of their new Land Rover Defender and how many problems it's had. I mean, a brand new vehicle having a check engine light and then having an issue with the engine to the point where Land Rover said, all right, you need a new vehicle. I mean, you need a new engine. And then they decided to get a new Land Rover vehicle rather than installing a new engine in a brand new vehicle. And then the replacement model, they installed a winch and they cut into the wiring loom and basically said, okay, this car is screwed as well. You're going to need another replacement. So kind of ridiculous stuff I've been watching on these kind of things just makes me cherish this Japanese quality and how they built these LXs, these LX 470s, these Land Cruiser Cygnuses, and you know, the Land Cruiser in general. I mean, this car is built in a specific factory in Japan by their most skilled engineers, and that's because this is the pride of Toyota, the Land Cruiser. You know, reliability and ruggedness. This wonderful, beautiful 2UZ FE engine that I have in here, you know, putting out 275 horsepower, more horsepower than what you got in the 2003 and below models. Sorry, 2004 and even 2005 had only 235 horsepower. So you've got the powerful 2UZ here with the bumped up horsepower. You've got a VVTi, variable valve timing, which helps, you know, with fuel consumption, with fuel mileage, and also bumping you up in that horsepower. You've got a few niceties in these 06 and 07 Land Cruiser Cygnuses that are just beautiful. I mean, you've got what we call VGRS, I believe, which is some kind of variable gear steering, and what that does is it helps me turn the car in half the circle of half the steering turn compared to the previous models, the 2005 and the 2004 models, and you know, all the way up to 1998. So there's small little things I'm noticing and small little options that came with the 07 Land Cruiser Cygnus that you know, just places this car in a really good place. And when I look at values of Land Cruiser Cygnuses, you know, they hold their value very well here in Kenya, and I don't see myself, for what I bought this vehicle, I don't see myself losing any money whatsoever, even if it's 10 years down the line, because these cars do have a depreciation curve, but they don't go much below where they sit right now. According to me, they can only go up because this car gives you so much utility, and it's at a sort of stage now where whatever things were going to go wrong, things like shocks and things, if you get them replaced, you should have a lot of worry-free driving ahead of you. So stay tuned for the next video where I give you a garage update and why I have my two vehicles. But I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. It's been Masai Gaines checking out.